Welcome to Scott's Slasher World. This week, I'm going to be showing off two new Sega Genesis games I picked up from Super Game Station in Radford, Virginia. And I'm going to be showing off a bunch of action figures I picked up from 80s Toys of Princeton. First up this week from Super Game Station is Mick and Mack as the Global Gladiators on Sega Genesis. Super excited to add this one to the collection. I love the cover of this. This game was actually recommended to me by my buddy Eamon Hardiman. Once I started collecting Sega Genesis, Eamon messaged me and said, man, you got to get Mick and Mack. And he mentioned a few others, but this was the one that I was like, I looked it up and it looked really cool. So I happened to find this at the place and I scooped it up. It's got the book and everything. So I'm very excited to add this McDonald's themed game to my collection. The next Sega Genesis game that I'm going to show off is something that I've wanted forever, and that is Maximum Carnage on the Sega Genesis. I knew once I got a Genesis collection and I was starting it that I wanted to get Maximum Carnage. I knew that I wanted to get the Maximum Carnage in the case, and I also knew that I wanted the red cartridge. Bam! Look at that, awesome red cartridge with the book. Super excited to have this one. I'm already stuck on the second stage, so if anybody knows how to get past the shriek projectiles on stage 2, let me know in the comments. I can watch a playthrough online, but if you know how to do it, let me know what I'm doing wrong. I'm trying to do what the arrows tell me to do, but I keep either like getting hit or I can't get to the other side, or you know, you're going side to side. I keep getting stuck. So tell me how to get through stage 2. I can't wait to get further in this game. The opening is awesome. It looks like it's a comic book as a Sega Genesis game. So like I said, super excited to add Maximum Carnage to my Sega Genesis collection. Now, before I show off all the action figures I picked up from 80s Toys of Princeton, I do have one action figure that I just got less than 30 minutes ago in a trade with Movie John. This right here I've wanted ever since I was a little kid. This is the Michael Jordan starting lineup from 1992. Man, this is gorgeous. It's got a nice hard protector case too. Man, I've wanted this ever since I was a little kid. When this came out, it was so expensive that I couldn't afford it back then. I bet Movie John paid, I think he said he paid like 30 bucks or more for this. But I remember at the time, this thing was like $100, $150. You could never pick this thing up back in the 90s because it was super hot. I love it. Love collecting Jordan stuff. I used to collect starting lineups all the time back in the day. It was like my main thing when I was like in junior high and starting high school. We used to go like from Walmart to Walmart, Magic Mart to Magic Mart, looking for starting lineups. And of course, at that time, this right here had been out for a few years. That you'd always see this at like card shops, like trading card shops, they were really popular in the 90s. You'd always see this, and it'd always be over 100 bucks usually. Every now and then you'd see like a $75 to $80 price tag, but man, what a beautiful figure. Thank you, Movie John. I'm gonna put Movie John's YouTube channel link in my description so you can follow him and you can see what I traded for this. Next up from 80s Toys of Princeton is this awesome Dragonflies figure. Dragonflies was a toy line in the 90s, also became a animated series for like maybe 2 seasons, but the main purpose of Dragonflies is to pull the tail of the dragon and launch your figure into the air. It's very similar to like Sky Dancers, which was more targeted to girls in the 90s. This was targeted to boys, but Matt, 80s Toys, he showed me how to use it, and he did it perfectly. And I've tried 5 or 6 times since I gotten home, and I've not gotten this figure off properly yet. So we can try it once here. Let's see if I can figure this out. But here we go. I'm gonna pull his tail. As you see, it starts to, let's see, make sure I think I gotta like lock him in here. I'm not sure exactly how to work it. I just love the dragon. He looks really cool. We'll try it one more time. Here we go. Meh, not bad, not bad. But anyways, very cool Dragonflies figure to add to the collection. And I saw on YouTube, you can watch the TV show on YouTube, so very, very, very cool. Next up from 80s Toys of Princeton is this awesome skeleton Ghostbusters figure. This little guy would swallow your Ghostbusters figure up in his rib cage. I'm gonna demonstrate by using this Visionaries figure. You'd put your figure in there and he would just, boom, he'd grab them like that. And also his head pops off, which is really cool. Pop off for extra entertainment. Really cool figure, and look at his eyes also bulge out of his skull, like that. Wait a second, let me try it again. Boom. Super cool little Ghostbusters figure to add to the collection. Next up is Franken Beans. This little guy, who looks very much like the Frankenstein monster, is from Beetleborgs. And Beetleborgs I was not familiar with until I asked what this figure was. And then Matt from 80s Toys let me know this is from a 90s show called Beetleborgs. So I looked it up online, and you can watch all the episodes of Beetleborgs on YouTube. It's made by the same people who did Power Rangers. So it's basically Power Rangers mixed with Universal Monsters, but it's kind of made for like 8-year-olds. Kind of a fun show. I watched 2 episodes. I kind of enjoyed it. I would have loved it as a kid. Somehow I missed Beetleborgs, but I like this figure, so I'm gonna add him to the collection. That's all for this week in front of the camera. Stay tuned to the end of the video because I will be opening up a pack of these music cards, and I'm going to show off close up a Star Wars figure that I got from 80s Toys of Princeton. As always, please like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so you never miss a video and help me grow the channel. All right, thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. So here is the Star Wars figure that I mentioned. This guy's name, I believe, is pronounced Rees or Reis or Reis. I'm not quite sure. I've never actually heard it pronounced, but I do remember owning this as a kid, and that is the reason why I bought this. I love this figure as a kid. I always pictured him, even though of course he never does this in the movie, but when I played with him as a kid, he'd always have like stuff that of course would come out of his eyes, kind of like Cyclops. He would spit like laser beams out of his eyes. That's how I envisioned him, and so I had to have him again, and I picked him up at 80s Toys. He's such a cool looking little figure. An underrated Star Wars figure, if you ask me. And then before I open up the pack of cards, let's just get even a better look at this awesome Maximum Carnage with the red cartridge. Man, that is awesome. Look at this right here. I can fill out the Maximum Carnage Genesis survey for something. I don't know. I guess they were just targeting kids and seeing how they were renting the game first, or were they just buying it? That's very early, or I guess mid-90s marketing right there. Beautiful, beautiful cart. Gosh, that's a cool game. And yeah, why don't we just show off close up to Mick and Mack. Appreciate it, Eamon. This is an awesome recommendation. Like I said, I've played the first stage and beat the first stage already. Can't wait to get further in the game. Beautiful, beautiful cartridge. Man, that is cool. All right, so let's do it. Bam! Superstars music cards. Who are we gonna get this week? Let's get some good ones. And I should scratch off this. Let's see if I win. I'm just gonna use my finger. Let's see how much money in concert tickets I'm gonna win. It says, sorry, try again. So I did not win. Didn't win anything. All right, up first we have Eric Clapton, Legends. You got Crosby, Stills and Nash. Death Angel, Death Angel. Not familiar with Death Angel. Duro. I'm not familiar with Duro. I'm gonna do a little focusing too. Get this nice and crisp. There you go. Not familiar. What else we got? The London Choir Boys. Not familiar with them really. Eric B. and Rakim. I'm not familiar. We are getting a bunch of like random stuff. Oh, with Motorhead. Everybody knows Motorhead. The Easel Spades. We got oh, it's Dread Zeppelin. Look at this wild card. That is some wild stuff. I think this shows a little something you're not supposed to see if you look close up. What else? We got historic concerts. The Who. Who is it? Excel. They're a band by Microsoft apparently. And we got 10 cents off of our next purchase of Superstars, music cards, and the t-shirts. Yeah! Thanks for watching the video. And like I said, help me grow this channel by liking and subscribing and sharing. And you know what? Let's open one more real quick. We're here. Let's do it. So, I'm not going to scratch off the thing this time. We'll remove that. So we got Morrissey, the Doobie Brothers, Kings of the Sun, Kiss. They're gonna party and they're gonna rock and roll, most likely all night. We've got Violence, Janet Jackson. We got U2. We got Ozzy. That's what I'm talking about. The Sisters of Mercy. The Byrds with Fleetwood Mac. And 10 cents off, baby. I'll see you next week.